Julia, can you hear me?
Ah, yeah, I can hear you now perfectly.
Hey, greetings, happy Sunday.
Greeting, greeting.
Big up Bruceland, big up yourself. Big up everybody in the chat as well and those listening.
Yeah,
You mentioned something, I just want to say this small thing and then you can continue.
yeah,
Mentioned something about can't having the conversation, especially like with a partner. Um, in terms of marriages, more than 50% of marriages end in divorce, right? But the alarming thing that most people don't know is that of those divorces, it's not even infidelity was the major contributing factor of the divorce. It was money problems.
exactly, exactly. And money issues. The personalities not lining up with each other, not being able to communicate. I can't hear
Yeah,
you either if you're gone.
it's a very important it's a very important thing. Which we try to shirk that conversation to say, oh, it's not all about money, but it's an important factor in our everyday existence, and we have a change in our mindset now and stop look at money as a taboo topic and something as necessary. So just as though you talk about love and she's beautiful or he's whatever, you have to also mention about, all right, so how is the finances?
Yeah.
Like how does it go? And once you get a clear picture, then you can continue.
That's right. That's right. And two, it's important to be able to know your own money personality. That's why I invest before I did the five the richest man in Babylon. I said, you know what, Julia, do the foundation book. The foundation book, this one here, it don't make any sense that they read anything about the five the richest man in Babylon or Think and Grow Rich or anything like that. It makes no sense until they actually get exposed to this book, the five personalities types, because this will actually force people to know themselves and to know what type of money personality they actually do have, right? To know their own shortcomings and to know their own strengths. And that this way too, it actually helps them to look at other people that they're in, not only personal relationships with, but business relationships with as well. Business partnerships is another partnership that suffer from people not communicating about their money personality. Money personality affects everything, and it all stems from childhood. A lot of it is childhood trauma, a lot of it is experiences. But if you don't know, then you can't make concessions for your weaknesses, right? And you'll
Yeah,
always
that's a good thought. That's a good thought process in starting with this one first because self awareness is crucial.
very crucial.
Once you understand that who you are, your personality traits and stuff like that, then you can move forward into you can move
Right.
forward then because you set the foundation as to what you're going forward with.
Exactly. And and most importantly, most importantly, you know what you are compatible with. So as a spender, you're not going to be with another spender unless they are an aware spender like you are, where you can say, honey, we have these issues, but our child is going to go to college eventually. We need to be able to be aware of our personality. We like to spend in the moment, but we need to be able to have these systems in place to protect us against ourselves. So unless you can't be the only one aware in the relationship. That's why I always say it's good to have somebody who is different because they can balance you because their natural tendency, if you're a spender, you don't want to be with somebody who's a spender. 'Cause that's why people get so much money and they end up broke, right? Nobody is watching the guard. Nobody is actually, keeping the guardrails in place or the boundaries in place unless you both are aware of who you are and how you show up so that you can make those guardrails to protect you from yourself, right? I had to, like what I was saying to Bruce Wayne too, knowing yourself and knowing the personality types that you are will actually help you to protect yourself from yourself.
Let
But
me ask
anyhow,
you a question. Let me ask you a question, Miss Julia.
yeah.
How do you think the approach is different? For example, somebody who just have a steady income versus person who's got cash flow coming in, especially like let's say monthly or weekly. So their bills are taken care of, but then they have surplus cash flow coming in, just coming in, all the time. Do you think that the mindset will change,
No.
or the techniques?
No, because that's why this book, and afterwards, I want you to look at this book to invest. Five Money Personalities. This book shows you that the personality is the base for everything, because the personality is actually based off of their nervous system from childhood, what they grew up seeing, right, and how their relationship and interpretation of money, saving it, keeping it, and investing it. So a lot of people who say them the bills are taken care of, and they get a lot of money, if they're not savers, or they're somebody who just live free in the moment, they will always spend that money. They will never have, no matter how much they get, they will find a way to spend it, lend it out, or lose it, or buy stupid things, end up with 5 cars and still paying rent. So it's because of their nervous system, right? So that's why this book is so freaking amazing, right? And then there are some people who, right, their bills not paid, they keep getting money, but because they're avoiders, right, they don't want to deal with the bills until it piles up, and then they still end up losing money. And then there are some people who are misers, right, or there are some people who misers, accumulators. The bills are paid, they can relax, and they can and they can invest in something, but they still see it as a risk. They say, no, 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 I cannot invest it, I need to save it, I need to save it, because they feel more secure in their nervous system, knowing that they can look at their savings account and they can see a certain amount of money. They always feel like tomorrow there's going to be a sickness, there's going to be a pandemic, there's going to be a fire. That's how they think, because of their nervous system. While they were growing up, they never had that financial security. But what me and Brenda and Bruce was talking about before is somebody can grow up in the same household as you and have a different interpretation. They can grow up in the same household as you, have that financial insecurity, and one of them is like, I'm going to enjoy my life and spend my money as soon as, because I grew up with nothing. So as soon as I get that money, I'm going to buy the car. I don't have nowhere to live, but I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy this shiny object. And then the same sister who grew up in the same environment, who had that financial insecurity, they feel like, oh, you know what? I was always insecure with money. So as soon as I get money, I need to save it. I can't buy. I'm going to have to. I can't buy anything. I need to save it. I need to save it, because they get their security from being able to know that, okay, something will happen, and I have this here to hold on to. But the other sister, same household, will feel like, I was always restricted to not have, so now that I have, I'm going to enjoy it and I'm going to spend it. Life's too short. It depends on the nervous system, and depends on how they interpret money. So it doesn't matter, right, how much it is, unless you are like us, Bruce Wayne, invest, and Brando, and Misty. Unless you're like us, to where you're saying, okay, this is where I am right now, you know, um, I need to adjust for my new circumstance. Lots of people don't have that self-awareness. So they keep on repeating patterns. They will win the lotto and lose it. See what I mean? Invest, you there? Invest gone?
And probably chip out, if you
Probably
continue.
triple. Yeah. All right. So we're almost done. So right. So couples who talk about money, they build stronger bonds. Partners attending financial counseling to improve communication. This is something that is good. People always talk about, oh, go to marriage counseling and go to the church. Not against the church. There are other counseling that you need to do before you do that. Financial counseling is important. Okay? So you don't end up in divorce court. Now, quotes and more practical applications. Self-awareness transforms money from stress to freedom. Money is a source of stress for a lot of people, right? Even people who have a lot of it, them always stress out. You're wondering, oh, you're rich, you're supposed to be happy. No, them still stress, right? Your money personality is a guide, not a constraint. So you don't judge people. You just know that this is how they are. This will guide me in how to deal with them, and guide them in how to make concessions for what it is that their problem is. Schedule regular money meetings with your man, or your woman. My tactic is when I'm in a relationship, I say, okay, monthly meeting, honey, we're going on a date, eat some food, and let's talk about where we are financially, what we're planning to do. This is where we invest, how we lose money here. What did we